Hey everyone! So I decided I wanted to do something a little more relaxed and reconnect to my art by sketching every day for a week. I've been really falling behind on drawing in my sketchbook regularly, and so I wanted to take some time to make it a habit in my life again. Most of these sketches you're going to see are going to be pretty simple and honestly very casual. I was more interested in making this an honest depiction of what an average sketch looks like in my sketchbook, and also the fact that I'm really just getting back into things and I care more about putting something down on the paper than having something incredible and perfect. I will be popping in and out throughout the video, both in vlog form and in voiceover form. But with that, please enjoy my sketch from day one. Hello everyone, it is a lovely Monday, and you might have seen a little bit of footage of me sketching yesterday because this week I am trying to spend time in my sketchbook every day. So I'm gonna say probably like Sunday through Saturday, roughly, I want to spend around 45 minutes to an hour in my sketchbook. And I am working this week, so I feel like an hour is doable amount of time. And I'm also going to try to film as much as I can with all of that. And for today, Monday, I am realizing that I've only got like a few pages left in my good old sketchbook. And I started this sketchbook back in September of 2022, so it's about time that I finished it. I've definitely gotten a lot worse about sketching. It's really a practice that I love, but I haven't felt as connected to lately. I think ever since I started seeing my art as like content too, and especially if I'm filming it, I get really nervous to sketch and like thinking about, is this idea interesting? Is it cute? Does it look good? And I feel like that adds a little bit of fear to my creating, and I can even feel the anxiety now. So part of me filming my sketching for a week is also to get a little bit over the fear of sharing my art, even when I don't like it, because I know for a fact if this is a sketchbook, that is going to happen. I also want to do this because I think it's about time that I sit down and work on some different art skills, things like composition, anatomy, other things like that, drawing new things. So I wrote a little list for myself of things I might want to draw this week. But with all that being said, I have finished work for today and I've got myself a nice little hot beverage, so I'm going to get to it. Okay, so this whole day was kind of a mess. I had this idea to draw like little bubbles with fish in them, but I don't know what happened. I think some of it is this idea was a bit ambitious for what I was trying to do, and I should have let it stay simple, and it just got out of hand really fast. And also the camera was kind of struggling too. It kept not focusing well. So yeah, I got pretty frustrated and it was not my favorite. However, I do feel like I discovered an idea that I would like to try again, maybe with a different medium, in a different sketchbook, or with different paper. But I wanted to keep this in because, you know, not every art day is a good art day, and that's okay. And it's something that we kind of need to embrace more. So my first mistake was choosing an idea that's a little bit difficult to do on a piece of paper that doesn't take water mediums well. And then my other issue was not just leaving it simple. There was a time where it was okay and I should have just moved on. It's a sketch. But then I decided, why not I get out the Posca pens? And in my experience, every single time I've decided that I need to use Posca pens, it always goes wrong, every single time. And then that started looking weird, and then I was like, why don't I throw on some paint? And now I'm like almost convinced it's ruined. And part of me wants to rip it out. Just wants to rip it out, forget it ever happened. The other part of me wants to keep working on it until it looks good. But I think the healthiest option is to take the idea, think, good rough draft. Maybe we can tackle that again another time and move on. Because I spent like an hour on that just to like mess it up, and I don't even know if I can use like the back side of the paper. Like this is warped pretty badly. So yeah, I think I should take a little break, but I am still very committed to finishing this sketchbook today. I really want to finish it today, but I'm also so worn out after this like emotional battle, because the problem is that I don't know, my brain was overactive for all of this. But maybe I will just consider that my warm-up, and maybe do a little bit more chill sketching. Maybe I will put the Posca pens away, since they do not agree with this paper very much. So sad, but I wanted to share because I think it is a pretty universal experience as an artist, and I think on the internet, where everyone wants everything to look beautiful and gorgeous and aesthetic, we don't always see the mistakes quite as much. So I'm gonna take a little breather and get back into it in just a little bit. So after taking a little breather, a little walk around the block, I decided to come back and just do some low effort doodles, just mess around a little bit, loosen up. Honestly, I just wanted to draw these weird bubbles. They kind of look like beans. And kind of collage some little scraps and sketches that I had. Really nothing too crazy, but that's kind of what I needed. I honestly just wanted to push forward and not let the fact that one of my sketches was a little extra messy keep me from continuing on. And that is how I ended the day. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, and normally I don't work on art this early, especially on a weekday, but I actually have a free hour before I have to do anything work related, and it's only like 8 o'clock, but I'm going to try to take advantage of that time and do a little spread in my watercolor sketchbook because I finished this bad boy yesterday. Even though I was having a rough day, and surprisingly the sketching actually helped me feel better. But I don't have a lot of time to talk, so I'm going to jump into my sketchbook. Because I had a little bit of time, I decided, I didn't have that much time, but I really wanted to get out my watercolor sketchbook and bust out my paints. And I didn't really go in with any plan. I just kind of wanted to paint freely and do something fun. And honestly, I just had a good time mixing colors and putting paint on the paper. Made me realize I really need to do this more. Something about sketching with watercolor just feels very freeing, and it never gets old watching the paint spread on the water. So 10 out of 10 as far as how enjoyable the experience was. The only sad part is that I really only had about 45 minutes to sit in my sketchbook this day. So I didn't finish what I was working on, but I was having a lot of fun. Like this, I wasn't looking at anything. I just kind of started painting, and I forgot how therapeutic it is to just listen to music and paint, and the sun is shining through. I love doing art in the morning, and it's a little sad that the one day I'm not like forcing myself to do this. Like I have to go. I do have a job. We do have a work retreat today. On the bright side, I might be able to bring like a little sketchbook with me or like a notebook or something to doodle, but it's not the same. But maybe this evening when I get home, I'll do a little more. But I don't know. I think what this is showing me is that like art does not need to feel like a chore. And I'm starting to find the joy in sketching again. So a few days in, and I think that this little experiment is starting to work. I finished a sketchbook already, and I got my watercolor sketchbook out, which I've been avoiding like the plague. So yeah, I think that that is definitely an achievement. Oh, sorry, I bumped my camera. But I have to get ready to leave. I will see you all later. So Thursday was one of those days that was honestly kind of rough, but I had a little time while coming home from work to hit up the art supply store and grab a new sketchbook. Nothing like a new sketchbook to fix a bad mood.
and while I didn't end up actually painting in it that day, it did still feel nice. As for the sketching, I decided not to film it. I really just finished up what I had started on Wednesday and tried to take the evening easy, since it had been a really busy day. I think that if I hadn't been doing this little experiment, that I probably would have foregone sketching altogether.
Hello everyone, it is currently Friday, end of the work week, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty tired and kind of emotionally burnt out from the week. Not from the sketching, but just from other things. And I have a few thoughts about filming the sketching process. One downside is that I feel a little less free while sketching, and I kind of feel like someone's watching over my shoulder, which makes it a little bit more difficult to engage with, and I feel like it kind of stifles my creativity a little bit and my thought process. But the positive is that it has kind of held me accountable to actually sketch every day. So I think it's kind of, there's good and bad. But anyways, I did finish my larger black sketchbook, and so I went ahead and I bought a new one. This is, I think, by the same brand. It is by Royal Talons. It was honestly a pretty inexpensive sketchbook. I want to say it was like around $10. But I decided to go for a smaller sketchbook just because I feel a little bit less fearful of how much space there is to fill. And I did like the sketchbook last time, and looking at like the stuff on here, it says that you can use ink and watercolor, and I'm not sure I fully believe that, but maybe we'll test it out. But yeah, let's start this new bad boy. I want you all to know that about 30 minutes have passed since I sat down and filmed, and I've got nothing done because my cats came in the room, and then I decided I was hungry and went and got a snack. So, not all is as it seems, but I am actually going to sketch now.
I wanted to pop in real quick and give a little review on this sketchbook. First of all, I'll say the paper quality is actually pretty decent, and it's nice and smooth, easy to draw on, and honestly, it even took watercolor a little bit better than I expected. Now, it definitely isn't a watercolor sketchbook. The paper isn't really even mixed media paper, but it could take a light wash, and honestly, it was kind of fun to use watercolor in it, even though it definitely isn't meant for anything too heavy. I will also say that I definitely prefer the smaller size for stuff like this. I think it just felt a little bit less intimidating, and I really felt like I could fill the full page. Man, the way I just did not want to sit down and draw on Saturday, I was just really wiped. Honestly, just emotionally, and I had a pretty busy, hectic work week. And so I really wanted to do nothing. But I did still enjoy doing this little sketch with the bears. I think I originally had in my head that Saturday was going to be a day where I sat down and drew and painted for hours, but that just wasn't the case. But I am still proud that I actually did sit down to paint, and I do wonder if things would have been different if I didn't decide I was making this video this week, if I actually would have sat down and done some art. But regardless, I actually really enjoyed this little painting, and I wouldn't mind, I don't know, drawing and painting some more bears in the future. I feel like I got some inspiration for some future illustrations, and that is one of the things that sketching is really helpful for.
So it's the end of the week, it's the weekend. I just finished up this little painting in my sketchbook, something a little cute. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to basically bribe myself with iced coffee today to even come down here to paint or do anything in my sketchbook, because I'm feeling quite exhausted. And I think that with full-time work and life, sketching every day isn't always realistic for me. Now, I do think I would like to get into the practice of sketching more regularly, like maybe 5 out of 7 days, maybe 4 out of 7 days, because there were a few times this week where work was a little extra busy and I was pretty stressed out. And in some cases, the sketching was nice, but I also kind of felt like I was pushing myself a little too hard, and when you're on the edge of burnout, maybe that's not always the smartest choice, but I wanted to show a really honest depiction of what it's like trying to have a regular practice like this when you also have a job. But that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope that my sketches weren't too ugly, because I really just wanted to show, again, a more casual sketching routine, not trying to create any masterpieces. Anyways, I am rambling. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I will be continuing to make some art, and I will see you all next time. Bye.
Thank you.